We experienced the Black Summer fires. We saw what happened in Lismore. We've seen what's been happening in Greece and in Libya. Climate change is here, and we need to do the best that we can to abate the impacts of that. So our problem currently is all of the carbon in the atmosphere, and let's think about that pie as 100% of the problem. And what can we as architects do? Are we simply people at the end of the food chain? Or are we involved in the built environment, which stands for the single biggest sector of emissions globally? So 37% of all emissions come from the built environment. That's the place where we work. So we have agency to change that. Of that, 27% is operational carbon. And the good news is, so this is the biggest single, easiest chunk to solve. I'm going to tell you tonight in 3 simple steps how to solve operational carbon. Tonight, what we're going to talk about is to get to 0 operational carbon, and then ideally about how to reduce our embodied carbon. So 3 steps to cut operational carbon. How easy? Step 1, electrify everything. No more gas, never. And if you want to find out more, look up Saul Griffiths and see what he's doing. So what does that mean for us? So basically, heat pump hot water, air conditioning for heating and cooling, which is interesting coming from Breathe Architecture, right? The people that didn't put air conditioning into the Commons and Nightingale 1. And we can talk about that later, but basically in the last 10 years, efficiencies of air conditioners have gone up by 200%, and the greenhouse warming potential of the refrigerants used in air conditioners has come down by about 5,000%. So the gases aren't as bad in them, and their efficiencies are up, and it's the cheapest, most efficient way to heat and cool your buildings. Induction cooking, 40% more efficient than gas. Clean gas is an advertising line. It is not reality, right? Put solar power on everything, put in EV chargers, and don't let your electrical engineers freak you out about EV charging. It's just not hard. So a battery on its own is expensive. A battery coupled with a virtual power plant through an AI run by a company like GreenSync is a really, really smart way for us to be part of a broader solution about grid stability. 100% renewables. So what we can do is we can specify everything to be electric. We handle that our side, and then we can also use our market demand to drive changes in the national energy grid and the way that energy is provided. So the first thing you can do is provide 100% renewables on your site, or buy 100% certified green power. And it's way cheaper to buy green power than it is to put solar on your roof. And it doesn't matter whether it's for your office, whether it's for your home, whether you're renting, and whether it's for your business. We can all buy green power tomorrow. It costs us 4.5 cents a kilowatt hour on top of our normal power, and it affects market change. So as we buy green power out of the grid, it forces polluters like AGL, Origin, and Energy Australia to commit to building large-scale renewables. If you're working on apartments, you can connect all of the apartments together under an embedded energy network, and then you can commit that embedded energy network to buy 100% green power under the Owners Corp rules. There are a couple of companies that do it. So B Energy, which I think has now been rebranded to SUPA, S-U-P-A. Is anyone from B Energy or SUPA here tonight? So yeah, sorry Sam. So what is it? Is it SUPA or B Energy? SUPA, S-U-P-A.
That's right.
Okay, so talk to these nerds over there. So Sam is one of the only people that knows way more about the energy grid than me. And you've committed to buying only 100% renewables as part of your mix, yeah? Yeah. Okay. So, and what that means is, and you guys also do embedded hot water in your apartments, yeah?
That's right.
Powered by 100% renewables. Awesome. You've got a developer. It's cheaper for them to put in gas hot water, right, to heat their hot water. If you work with these guys will pay for the capital expenditure of the heat pump to do the hot water. Do you pay for solar as well up front? They pay for the solar, so your developer doesn't pay for it. Then they work out across the lifespan of that heat pump and the solar to power everyone's hot water, everyone's electricity with cheaper electricity prices because they bulk buy it And anything that they're adding into the mix, they're buying in as 100% renewables. So you can solve it that way. How do you make sure that that happens? So for those of you working on a private home, you've got to do a lot of education and bring your clients along for a journey with you. And again, I don't know how to convince government clients, like not that you should have to in this state, given that they've just banned gas connections as of January 1st, 2024. But if you're working with a developer, what we do is we talk to them a lot about what's the value add for them. They can sell a carbon neutral building and use that as part of their marketing collateral. They can work with SUPA to reduce their capital expenditure costs, still get their solar, so it helps them sell. They still get their heat pump and their high efficiency hot water. And it doesn't cost the developer anything. And so all we have to do is write those two things into the owner's corporation rules. So fundamentally, what we do is that we write, we've got a couple of paragraphs and we'll share this with you. And so rather than designing a solution for our developers, we give them a paragraph which says that you have to buy 100% green power in this building. And if the residents want to change that, they need 75% of the residents to get together to change that, which they can do theoretically, but you know, good luck. It's hard when you live in an apartment building. And then the second part of that is, and we can all talk about, you know, carbon neutrality and its problems and its offsets and et cetera, but again, park cynicism, certification is important.